Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder level powers, and much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, aka Mark, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoy tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to twitch.tv/RSAGames, or check out all our recorded sessions at RSA Games on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session, and without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. We join Larry as he flies above the city, chasing down one of the coordinates he received not more than a week ago. As he soars through the skies above East LA, he eventually notices the building he's after. A small cinema, which, from the type of building, the marketing on display, you'd wager is a cinema that plays older movies. More of a, rerun type of cinema. Approaching it and flying overhead, you notice that the roof of the building does have an access door, and that as people start stepping out of the building, you don't notice anyone going in, so you assume that the building, like the business, is about to close for the day.
I will look it around from above. Is there an entrance on the roof I could access?
Like I said, the roof has an access point. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Then I will descend. Just in case, activate my armor of Terra,
Mm-hmm.
spending 1 blood point. And does the usage of all specs, by the way, require me to spend any blood points? The
Uh,
first slot?
no. You just need to
No.
declare you activate it and declare when you
Yeah.
deactivate it.
Okay. Okay. I will activate once I'm close enough to the door to listen in from the outside.
Okay. So as you begin to focus with the knowledge that you've acquired from your um, child slash ghoul, um, you focus, and all the sounds around you begin to heighten severely. You begin to hear water flowing through the pipes and the walls under you. You hear footsteps through the walls. But likewise, sounds from the world around you that used to be minor become almost deafening. The wind rushing past your ears, particularly, is um, quite deafening. Um, you listen in, and you can hear some footsteps. You can hear locks or keys turning in locks. And you can hear someone sighing. But that's all the activity you hear, at least right now.
Okay. It's not too late into the night, is it?
Well, it would be almost midnight at this point.
Okay. I will wait around like 5 to 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
just for most of the staff to either leave or be in the locker rooms where they can't see me. And just try that door. If it doesn't open, fuck it. I'll go through the wall.
Okay. You wait for a few moments, and eventually you hear the front door of the building click open. It closes, and you hear um, a key turning in a lock, and then a grate being closed and locked. Um, you take a quick peek and see the last few members of staff leaving the building, and you try the door. It's locked, but it's not a huge problem for you. You take the few belongings you brought with you, you pack them neatly, and stash them essentially hidden nearby but out of sight. And focusing, you place your hand on the wall next to the door, and you press into it, and you begin to sort of melt into it. And slowly and steadily, you come out the other side. Um, you find yourself in a set of stairs that head down. Um, and at the end, there seems to be a small staff room.
Can't hear nobody with specs.
Nobody.
I will turn it off then.
Mm-hmm.
And any camera lights or some sort?
Hard to tell from where you are right now.
Like just on the staircase.
Oh, not on the staircase. No.
Okay. 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 Oh, skin of the chameleon, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And steadily and stealthily, making sure not to make any noise, I will go down up to the staff room.
Okay.
Just peek inside.
So roll me a quick dex and stealth to make sure you can move silently.
Yep, just a moment. Um, Okay. It will be. I think I can nail it.
Oh, for some reason it didn't update on my side until now. Yeah. So you carefully head down the stairs, and peeking into the staff room, you see that there's a set of, there's a table with a few documents on top of it. They seem neatly stacked and organized. And this desk has a chair that's pushed against it, as if someone, neatly set things up to come here to work the following day. However, as you peek very, very carefully, uh, your head turns around the corner and you spot just a camera on the corner of the room, filming the rest of the room. You very slowly and carefully duck back in to the stairway, and you believe that you did it slow enough that the power of your Viscerotica has kept you hidden enough not to be super noticeable. But walking into the room definitely would make you noticeable.
Okay. And the stairs go all the way down.
The stairs lead into this room. There is another door that
Oh,
connects further.
and oh, fucking through the wall, face first, eyes dark to look for any cameras in the corridor I might stumble into.
Sorry, can you clarify?
I will go through the wall, like just somewhere where the building continues.
Okay. You push through the wall, and you eventually manage to find below you an exit to all of this. You push through and find yourself in a small corridor that leads to a number of other doors, and ends at a door that's ajar, and you see beyond that door is a stairway, essentially access to the rest of the building. You summarize the.
Is the building like big?
It's not huge, but it's at least 3 floors, maybe 4.
Mm-hmm. So like a town school.
Sort of, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a wide building, but not very tall.
Yeah, I will try to locate the camera room, the surveillance room, because I can't really go aloud while I'm being watched.
Mm-hmm.
I will just think that it's either on the first floor, somewhere near the entrance, or in some a more, far off place that is unreachable to people without getting into the staff only rooms. So I will just, stumble around.
Okay. You make your way through the building. I'll use your previous roll for this because you got quite a few successes. Um, you go through the building carefully, making sure you're not spotted. And as you move slowly through the stairway, you eventually reach another corridor. As you peek inside, you spot another camera that's watching it. And as you begin backing away, the slowly flashing light on the camera stops.
Unpleasant. Shit. Alright, fuck it. I will persist to back away. Do I think that I'm close to the room I'm looking for, or
You
I'm just in the midst of nowhere?
you don't really have you
Okay.
have no clue how close you are to what you're looking for.
I will fucking scan the building with my Erotica. Fuck the shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's too risky.
Okay, you may spend the resources you need, and
Mm-hmm.
you place your hand on the wall, focusing, and you sense a presence. Single presence that is slowly moving through the building, and it seems to be getting closer. It's not running through the building or anything, it's moving quite slowly.
Is it on my floor?
Yes.
And it goes like on a path that traverses my area.
Oh, it's going in your direction specifically, so yeah.
I will sink into the wall. Or am I on the first floor or where?
You basically went down a single floor past what you already were doing, so you're either on the third or second floor.
Okay. Then I will sink into the wall, um, making sure that there is no cameras in the room that I get into, and just poke one eye out into the main corridor
Mm-hmm.
to watch.
So you sink into the wall, staying as much inside the wall as possible, and you leave just one of your eyes out, making sure to, be ready to sink it back in if someone shows up. And as you watch, obviously you can't hear anything because both of your ears have gone into the wall, but you see the door at the end of the corridor open, and through walks one of the gargoyles you've seen before. Um, Essentially a small, gaunt figure made of stone. This one, however, has no wings.
Is it the one I beat up?
Yes.
Um, Uncanny. Is it going like toward me?
It looks through the corridor. Basically, looks to one side, then the other. Seems to be looking for someone.
I will activate my protein eyes just to make I glow red so that it would notice me.
Okay. You close your eye, focus, and as you open it, immediately the guy just jolts his head in your direction. And after a few moments of looking at you, he just does this and walks through the door again.
Okay, I'm following.
Mm-hmm. You step inside the corridor, begin to follow him, and he eventually leads you past a few rooms, a few, you know, theater rooms, and eventually reaches this staff room um, with a locked door at the end of it. He steps through the wall and, beckons you to follow.
Okay.
And as you follow, you end up entering what is almost reminiscent of a bunker room. It's a
Oh
small,
shit.
cramped room with a large table with a series of maps on top of it. A single light hangs from the ceiling, and uh, littering the walls are a bunch of cabinets, like file cabinets, and a single bulky computer that, by the looks of it, has been turned on since it got here. Um, and the gargoyle, stepping in, walks to the table where the computer is and picks up a jacket, like an oversized jacket, and puts it on. Took you long enough.
Well, since I didn't get any instructions, I didn't know what to expect.
But you're not supposed to know what to expect. I still think it's a bad idea to include you, but Larry insists. So, here you are.
And sorry for that one time.
Yeah. Anyway. Uh, he steps forward, up to the table, and taps, uh, one of the maps. By the looks of it, it's a map of East LA with a bunch of markers on it. He taps the map and says, "This is our map of East LA. We know about Sabbat operations in this area and this area. Whenever you can contribute anything to our cause, you give us information about this. Okay? Any Sabbat activities that might, you know, be important, you come here, mark it on the map, and then you go to the computer, you type a report on it."
I will come up to the computer. What software is it running? What am I typing report into?
So it's running an old version of Windows. It's running Windows XP, and it basically has a few files open. One of which is a number of notes about a location that's marked as A2. You look at the map, and one of the pins on the map has a little post-it glued to it that's like really dirty and dusty, saying A2. So you assume that's the location. And the notes describe that this is theorized to be one of the main locations used by a gang under Sabbat control. So it's essentially an intel network. A very mediocre one, but yeah.
Who exactly gets this information?
We do. Whenever we can. Note it down. And when one of us needs to operate in the area, we got access to it.
Oh. So it's only this computer.
Yeah, it's local. You can't risk sending the information to other spots.
Fair. Okay. I will keep it in mind.
Yeah,
Anything else?
You should probably eventually go see Larry himself. You should have gotten a location in Hollywood. It's probably where he is. Keep in mind, you fuck with any of this information, we find a report that you made that wasn't supposed to be made the way you did, you're immediately out.
I will not.
Good. Now that we understand each other. Any questions you have about the system, I'm here to answer it. In case you're curious, this is basically how we found you originally, and we use this network to find other gargoyles that need freeing. We also use it to essentially buy goodwill from other sects. The only reason why we are even in the Anarch's good graces is because they tolerate us for this.
You are acting like pawns of the system.
Well, you have to, in a way. Otherwise, the system just crushes you. But if you're smart, you can play the system.
We could become the system ourselves. We could lead it.
Why? So you break free from the clutches of a fucking witch that destroys whoever you were. You become this fucking monstrosity, and your immediate concern, instead of wanting to free others, prevent more tragedy, your immediate concern is to dethrone the witch and take the throne yourself.
You don't understand.
No, I don't think you understand. I think Larry is misguided in letting you into this little secret of ours. Just because you're a gargoyle doesn't mean you're worthy of our trust.
We could rule and use this power to free other gargoyles and make it never happen again.
We already do that.
Anybody.
We already do that. We do.
And at one scale. What scale is this?
Well, we got you free, didn't we? Well, go on. Where's the snappy comeback? Please instruct me on how the gargoyle that was freed from potentially the most powerful Tremere in LA, who was freed by us, by the way. Tell me how this amazing genius wants to achieve better results without corrupting what we're all about.
One day I will. Thank you for the trust. I look into the ground. I will go meet Larry now.
Sure. He's in Hollywood. He should have the address. Don't fuck with us. Off you go.
Okay, I will skip this joke. I go out.
Mm-hmm. As you phase through the wall and begin making your way back to the rooftop, you grab your things and take to the skies. As you make your way to Hollywood, the city itself, you're used to how it looks. So now you're able to sometimes spot things that are unusual. And as you fly above downtown on your way to Hollywood, you spot north to you a bit of a weird pattern. And I would like you to make a perception alertness roll, please.
Is it a gargoyle? Flying about with the skin of chameleon. 3.
Okay. Actually, no. What you notice is that the area that seems to cradle around Griffith Park, you see flashes here and there, and faint orange light with some smoke coming from it. And it seems to be signs of a firefight there. And as you try to listen past all the wind rushing by by your ears, you can also hear the echoes of gunshots.
Where is it? Like on the
I will ping it
the
on the
map?
map. Here.
Yep. Oh, it's no one's territory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it won't hurt Larry if he will wait additional half an hour. I will fly by this area.
Mm-hmm. As you fly closer, immediately you get this odd sense of impending danger, and you find yourself taken aback by it, and something in your head tells you you need to get the fuck out of here. Whatever is in this area, it's fucking dangerous, and it will come after you.
Is it? Can I peace out? Like, is it? What part of my head is it? Is it just primordial fear, or some rationality,
Well, it's
or
a
some
type of
subconsciousness?
it's a type of intuition that you haven't had before you developed Auspex. It's one of the things that Oswald told you about once you would get Auspex. You'd be able to sometimes sense that danger that might not be entirely obvious to others. Well, you'll basically be warned about it. Non-specifically, like you won't be able to tell what kind of danger it is, but you'll be warned about danger. Sometimes.
I will look at the picture. What is going on there? What do I see anything more clear as I'm closer?
So you see, by now the gunfight has ended. You see that there are a couple of stores that have been set on fire, and a group of policemen have arrested a suspect. However, roll me perception empathy, and it's difficulty 8 because
Does
you're quite
insightful
high up
apply?
in this guy. I suppose, yeah.
Okay. 2.
Mm-hmm. So, while it's not entirely obvious, as the arrests are happening, you notice that some of the police officers seem to be quite aggressive. You don't see any hurt police officers really. It's not like the criminals killed a cop or anything. But eventually, you even see one of the officers after he cuffs one of the suspects on the ground, and cuffs his legs too. Uh, he gets up, says something on the radio, and then seems to click something on his chest and begins to kick the shit out of the subject in cuffs until you see like blood splatters on the floor. After which he grabs the man by the cuffs and drags him through the asphalt towards the police car. Um, you know that police brutality in America is a thing. This goes way over that.
Mhm. Well, to my knowledge, police are under Camarilla, so I would suspect something something's going on there. Um, I will just dump the info into, like, send it to my packmates
Okay.
about the shit that's going down there. Maybe they know something more, and yeah, get the fuck out.
Okay. You, uh, with a few beats of your wings, you turn your trajectory back towards Hollywood. And after about 30 minutes of flying, you look down to see the lights that dot Hollywood streets. And eventually you spot the theater you came here to visit. It seems to be an old building, um, sort of a Chinese styled theater. And as you approach to land, you notice that despite it looking almost abandoned, um, the the inside of the building, which you can see because there's sort of like a skylight on the roof. The inside of the building seems to be quite well kept. Um, you land carefully, and upon landing, you feel the materials that make up this building. Construction seems to have some concrete in it, but most of the building is constructed with wood, steel. You know, it's a composite of material, so it's not like you can phase through the material easily, if at all.
So, do I see any hints that there are gargoyles waiting for me?
You look through the skylight, and there's this large lobby area that seems to have gone through repairs quite recently, but most of it is empty. There's no real signs of
Yeah,
life. However, as you look through the skylight, you notice that one of the windows that makes it up is slightly ajar.
Oh, okay. Then I will get in.
Mm-hmm. So you pull up the window and you jump in. Uh, as you land on the floor, you look around to see that the old decorations, all the worn, have seen some recent upkeep. And by recent, I mean like the last couple of years. Um, Most of the decorations have, like, the paint has worn out, the wood has become sort of smooth-ish due to being worn down, but parts of the decoration have been restored to its former glory. You look around and you see two large doorways, probably leading to the main theater area. Um, and there are a couple of stairways that lead to a second floor, though the second floor seems to mainly be a way to get to, upper seats for the theater.
Okay. I will go through the main doorways.
Mm-hmm. Going through one of the main doorways, you enter this quite large uh, theater room. Lines of chairs make their way all the way down to a sort of stage area with a large screen behind it. And on a couple of chairs, sitting and talking, are the gargoyle that handed you the sheet of paper and Larry.
Do the rest of 7 feet on the chairs?
They do. They're not that big. You're oversized. They are not.
Oh, oh,
You're the fat
okay.
one.
Every day, Muse find out something new. Mm, I will proceed
Mm-hmm.
and make a sound so that they would notice.
Yeah. As you take a step forward, Larry glances behind. Apologies. Seems to say something to the other gargoyle, and then stands up and turns to you. Been a while, Amadeus. Welcome.
How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. Did you get a look at the other addresses?
One of them, yes.
Cool. So you're aware of what we're offering, right?
Yes.
Good. Now listen, you're not entirely on our side yet. We still have to build some trust here, but we're giving you an opportunity. You are essentially allowed access that we're not. So you provide us information, and we'll offer some of our support to you.
And what support that would be?
Well, you find yourself in a pinch. We can hide you. We can swoop in to help you. We can save your ass again if you get caught by one of the witches. And of course, um, while our information network isn't huge, we can sometimes find information for you.
I see. And if I may ask, what exactly about Sabbat operation interests you so much?
Well, we. Here's the thing. We don't like kindred very much. At all. But among
Checks out.
kindred.
Checks out.
Yeah, but among kindred, the worst ones are the warlocks, the Tremere. Turns out, apparently, Clan Zamichi, which predominantly belongs to the Sabbat, well, they have a bit of a hatred for Tremere as well. If they're working against Tremere at all, that means they'll probably have information that we can use.
Well, I'll see what I'll be able to find. But given that our only Tsimichi packmate has passed away, don't expect much for now.
No, you do what you can. Regardless, as a show of goodwill, we managed to procure something for you. We looked into potential connections to who you used to be, and we managed to find something. Apparently, Strauss had you in there because you weren't just a threat to his power, you were his ticket to fight one of his biggest enemies at the time. You had political power over the Nosferatu. Now, Surats being as they are, it's very easy for them to get knowledge that can really seriously ruin a prince's reputation. Apparently, you working for the prince meant that that information was useless.
What do you mean?
Well, think of it this way. Imagine you want to ruin someone's reputation and you got this secret, right? Now imagine that the person who's supposed to reveal this secret to the world has themselves been put in a position where that secret also hurts them. Suddenly they're not really in the mood to share that secret so much. Apparently, this information would put you in danger, which is why you decided to stay. Probably the reason why Strauss managed to convince you just subject yourself to whatever experiments he had planned anyway.
I did not decide anything. I was tricked and manipulated.
No, if you want, we can look into it.
There is nothing to look into. I would have never betrayed my clan for the means of some old brick.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe your new clan could benefit from such loyalty. Of course, that would mean that your old clan might not.
I don't see where these two worlds collide.
Sewer rats don't give a shit about us. Sewer rats
They
want their
will.
information and their power, and they don't care that we're struggling, enslaved. They tend to value their own safety first.
And I will get enough of a foothold in the old clan. They will.
I mean, I'm sure you can try, but just be warned, they're not exactly kind to outsiders when they try to pry in, especially not outsiders with a reputation for betraying them.
What are your plans now?
Well, we know that there are some gargoyles within the Camarilla territory that need to be freed. We're trying to pin them down. So far, we've learned of the existence of two. Neither of them are under Strauss. I mean, we deprived Strauss of all his puppets. But Strauss isn't the only warlock. So, yeah, we go after
How
the
do
two
you
people who
free
need to be
them
freed.
exactly?
Well, it's a two-step process. You find them, and then you either beat the shit out of their master until they turn to ashes, which breaks whatever control they have over the gargoyle, or you make a deal to get the means to break that control.
Deal? What deal is that exactly? Is that how you freed me?
Well, in a way, yeah. Um, Look, too many secrets to reveal early on, earn our trust, and I'll explain how it works. But we have a contact who can provide us means to break certain connections.
Belmont.
Nah.
Missed my shot.
I mean, do you have information on this Delmont that might be interesting to us?
For a couple of weeks, maybe days. But soon he's going to die.
Okay. I mean, that's a potential problem that won't be potential anymore. So, yeah. Uh, have at it, I suppose.
And what will you do?
Hmm. Well, for now we're still.
Further
For now
into
we're.
the future.
For now we're still trying to find out the location of those gargoyles. Once we do find them, we'll break them out. In the meantime, anything we can do to loosen Tremere power over downtown LA, well, it's just an advantage. Of course, it's hard for us to even do anything against them since, well, our whole clan weakness.
Are your plans? Once you free everybody there is to free in this town, there will be more.
Kill the Tremere?
And the ranks. That's it.
Well, yes. You kill the slavers, no more slaves. And after we kill the Tremere, maybe we'll deal with the rest of them. But for now, it's an alliance we have to make do.
And, if I may ask, does your loyalty lie with any specific sect?
Right now, we work mostly with the Anarchs. Camarilla, they house the Warlocks, so that's out of the question, and Sabbat have their own objectives. A bit too savage and experimental for our taste. We'd rather not be prodded and poked at.
Would you fight if the Anarch Mistress calls?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of what we have to do. Well, when you say Anarch Mistress, I assume you mean the Baron of Santa Monica. We have no loyalty to her. We have a deal with Abrams.
Who is Abrams?
Isaac Abrams, Baron of Hollywood.
All right. I see. Well, thank you for having me, I guess.
Well, you're welcome, but just keep in mind, you're not part of the group yet. Think of it as a trial period.
I know.
Cool. So if there is nothing else, I suppose get to work. Plenty of shit to do, right?
By the way, east and north of Hollywood, that area, what is going on there?
Bates me. We don't really have any presence there. Why?
Just asking. Maybe you'd know.
Not really. I mean, if
Okay.
you saw something, go ahead. You can, we have a computer in the back. You can, I'm sure you were told how this works. You can go register that if you would like.
Ops are under Camarilla.
I mean, yeah. Bruja clan, mostly. Why?
There was a gunfight just an hour ago, maybe.
Gunfight in LA? Seems pretty standard.
This one was wild. A couple of shops set aflame. Cops turning off their body cams and beating the shit out of the suspects.
Bit brutal. Wonder what happened there.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Well,
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's none of our business. We want to deal with the Warlocks. Let the
Fair.
demons sink or swim.
If you will want any... If you will need any help with freeing those souls...
Oh, we fully expect you to
Yes,
do your part.
of course. I mean... In the... When the shit goes down to... Not only by investigating, I can help you.
Yep. I would fully expect you to. Now, any other questions?
Not that I can recall. I nod. All right. Goodbye.
Have a good one. You can exit through the skylight. Probably the same
Yeah.
way you came in. Just remember to close the window once you're out.
Sure.
And
And
yeah, Larry basically turns, goes back to the seat, and continues talking. As you make your way out,
you put up prospects. What they talking about?
well, it seems the guy you met before tells Larry that he doesn't fucking trust you, and that it's a mistake to let you in on this much information
Of course it
all
is,
at once.
man.
Um, but Larry is basically hearing none of it. He's insisting that, like, you know, they can't trust you yet, but they're never going to trust you if you don't have a chance to prove that you can't be trusted. So he's essentially allowing you some freedoms.
Larry the Wise. Okay. And I go out.
You exit through the skylight, close the window, and with a beat of your wings, you take off. And as you do, we cut to downtown as a car drives down one of the highways, slowly approaching the center of downtown. As it does, in the driver's seat, we see Jack, who approaches the main area of downtown. The Venture Tower is seen in the distance, and in the passenger seat, we see Serena.
Who is looking different. Mask of 1,000 faces.
All right, you may
Yeah, I
roll
would
to see how
probably-
different you look, but yeah.
Just a second. Okay, that'll be. Okay. Does acting apply? It's an manipulation active role. Miguel?
Sure, I'd say so.
What about persuasive?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jack would probably also ask to fix his face a bit.
That's Mask of 1,000 faces. I can't fix it for you.
You have
It's not-
vicissitude.
So
If you wanted me
Jack is willfully submitting himself to
to
vicissitude.
torture.
Jack knows shit about vicissitude, okay?
I got 2 successes.
Yeah, so 2 successes allows you to change your face and your general
Hair
appearance
color.
quite a
Hair
bit,
color.
but you'll still have the appearance of a woman about your height.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll for Jack to see if I...
Well, if he's exposing himself to this, yes, but you decide what he's gonna end up looking like, and the roll will see how close you get.
Wait, I'm 9 plus... 15.
Jesus.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
my God.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, minus 3.
You can do whatever you want with this face now.
8 successes. Yeah, basically, I whip out some of my leftover hair, so he basically becomes like a long-haired, you know, Aladdin-looking dude.
Okay.
Just pale.
Jack, you'll need to roll me self-control because this shit hurts like hell.
Yeah.
And we're assuming you do this before leaving.
Yeah.
So you're
No,
not...
while he's driving.
Yeah,
What the
let's go.
fuck? Mind you, it's not electric. It's gonna fucking explode. What did I get?
Okay, yeah. You...
Yeah.
It hurts like shit, but you manage to hold yourself together. Though you definitely feel this, like, impulse to just retaliate.
Basically, is before Jack had a sort of like a fuller face. Then now he has a...
He looks less
Uh.
like me, the player, and more like Miguel.
No, like, he's like more gaunt.
Oh.
Sort to say, think like 90s heroin chic in the rock scene. Because that's really far from Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jack, after the procedure, you have no idea what you look like. And it's impossible for you to know what you look like.
Yes.
Because you can't see yourself in a mirror. So you just feel your own face, and it feels off.
Do you want to
You
see
know, like
yourself?
where you would feel your cheek. You know where you would feel
Jack.
your nose. All of it is out of place.
Jack, do you want to see yourself? I can project you the image with telepathy.
Go on.
I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You-
my God.
I basically, because he also didn't see his reflection before, I show him how he looked before and now.
Okay, so Jack, the first image you get is a man you nearly don't recognize until you, like, it clicks in your mind. You haven't seen your fucking reflection for almost 100 years now.
Nah. Isaac showed me pretty recently.
Oh, he did. Yes, that is true. So yeah, while it's not very familiar to you. It's always refreshing to see that, and then the image morphs into this other completely different person you don't recognize.
I still look like shit.
No. He probably has like better looking like visage. Can't have him looking like low humanity or low path rating vampire in Camarilla territory. He looks
You look
He
more
looks as if
human,
he's-
but not necessarily more attractive.
Yes.
like he looks more high humanity.
a bit more rosy, but still like shit.
I mean, like I'd make it like conventionally, like like enough conventionally attractive, like a 6, because it is Hollywood.
Okay. So no turning heads, but no fucking
Yeah, no Nosferatu
no turning
vibes.
heads either way.
Yep. Like normal, above average Hollywood looks. Just
You
like
fucking do it
anachronistic.
to yourself from time to time on your
Huh?
free fucking will.
What?
You have to do this to yourself sometimes, right?
I do it all the time.
Isn't it how metamorphosis works?
No, it just I usually work with different changes. Like my legs, or the tail, or this new thing for the jaw. All Silence of Blood friendly, but appearance-wise, I do travel a lot, so have to look okay. But see, a lot of people want to kill me, so I have to change my face often. But today I'll be just wearing the mask of 1,000 faces.
Yeah. Sounds to me like it's less fucking, I don't know, permanent.
Well, this is already my 6th face in the last 2 years.
God damn.
So yeah.
Regardless.
Either way, let's go. We both look currently more
Currently less
closer
like us.
to to Kindred of the Tower. We can't still not expect that somebody's might, you know, mm, catch a whiff of us. So we should move quickly.
Yeah.
Can't take either of our cars. No, really, Leo, given the last fuck up. Let's just rent
That's
one.
okay. Yeah.
Let's just rent one on an app.
So you take care of renting a ride, and you make your way through the basically right up until you see the city, find your ride, get in, and begin driving. And eventually you reach downtown. As you drive through the streets of downtown, you see the tall skyscrapers that essentially plague the center of it. And right in the middle of that skyline of skyscrapers, you see almost the tallest one, Venture Tower.
By the way, had a friendly chat. Sandra is a fucking neonate that went through the city with a whip. From the sound of it, she had more balls to boss around than fucking Strauss does.
I see. I'll I'll draw a card. Relationship between Sandra and Kian.
Hmm. Okay, you can make the roll. And I'll need to pull up the page.
Successes to divine and for 5 successes to interpret. So give me the deets.
Mm-hmm.
What do I draw and how do I interpret it?
So you pull the card, and you're greeted with the image of a winged figure looking quite serene, with its hands slowly pointed up next to his head. And on either side of his head, there's a cup with essentially liquid flowing from one cup to the other. You draw temperance, and you get the sense that this card reflects more their relationship, like the social relationship they have, being one of mentorship and very, very slow progress towards a steady goal. It's a balancing act that they're maintaining calmly and steadily. It gives you the sense that Kian and this Sandra they have a relationship closer than Ruark has to Kian. Or at least a more balanced one.
I draw like since I got 2 to divine, can I draw a second card to like for additional like clarification?
Mm-hmm.
So because this was like more like the social and how they act each other, but more like what are they to each other?
Mm-hmm.
Like friends, lovers, child and sire, colleagues.
You take another card, and you are faced with the image of a king holding a scepter, and you see that you've drawn the emperor. It seems that Kian is not just the mentor of this Sandra. Potentially, he might even be her sire.
I think I just found Kian's potentially Rourke's weak points.
Care to elaborate?
It seems that Sandra might be Kian's child.
Oh. Can you...
No.
But is Pete anywhere in this city and not land in some fucking very crazy grandsire-grandchild relationship?
Look who's talking.
Exactly.
Look, how many Cainites do you think there are in the world?
If we go by Tower's guidelines, it will give us about
Blah blah blah. Towers guidelines.
80k.
No bullshit. Nobody follows that. Like, look around you. How many kindred there are? Clearly more. The world is large. Like, I don't know if you've tried to envision it, but it's really, really large. There's 8 billion mortals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a million in that 8 billion is nothing. There could be very easily be like 800k and up kindred. In essence, we're like one of those small Baltic states. Everybody knows each other in a way, or is somehow related to each other to like a great grandma.
Yeah, sounds like we're a big fucking Eastern European village.
No, a whole country, a small one.
Luxembourg?
No, they have more population. I was thinking more Estonia.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and everybody sort of knows each other. You get famous in one city, you're probably gonna be famous in other cities too. Because it's a small place. You know? And for us vampires who live for a very long time, even though
And we
the
don't
world
die
is
easily.
large, it becomes very small. So is it a surprise? It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
You know what I learned from Lycus? You know who my great grandsire was?
No fucking idea.
One of the members of the inner circle, the Malkavian there.
Oh shit.
Who still is probably actually.
Oh shit.
I
That
think
must
she was my
be
sire's
speaking of...
sire, or maybe his grandsire. I don't know, something like that.
Someone's
the
dragging balls around the bloodline.
No, it's like, also think about it. If words get out that I'm alive, British your great grandma is gonna be pissed the fuck off. If she's still breathing. And you notice that Iris is doing, like, Serena is doing these jokes, but she's also, like, very nonchalant, and her emotions are, like, very flat.
That would be fucking interesting. Let's say that.
What, and dig up on the red list because great grandma thinks that you have dishonored the bloodline?
Probably, if it comes up, you're
She's
gonna be
changed.
wanted not only in Camarilla.
I'm sorry, Priscus Vicus knows. Have you seen what I've accomplished in London? In fact, if anything, Sabbat should totally use it as a rallying tool for anarchs. You know? As in, to get them to our side. It would be a good PR stunt. I mean, presuming we'll still be, well, I'll be still alive the next week or something, given our current situation.
You're fucking hard to kill, you know that?
Yes, and also if they put me on the red list, you know they're gonna
They
be
put
looking.
Abel on the red list.
And he hasn't changed his face and they still get to catch him. Like they're gonna be looking for Serena or Iris or whatever else, and I'll be just, I don't know,
Chilling in the
looking
fucking
like a
corner.
fanboy.
Oh my god.
Does Jack even know what a fanboy is, actually?
He has access to the internet.
Jack,
He's
roll. No, I'm just kidding.
intelligence computers. He might know.
A Vern roll. Roll.
Well, Jack is an Eldritch Knowledge
Yes.
scholar of
Ah,
Eldritch
he's-
Knowledge.
yeah,
So
he's-
he's fully
He's
aware
aware.
of what that is.
I mean, they're gonna be looking for me, but instead there's going to be a fanboy running around. How would they know?
They're not gonna know, probably. Well, anyway,
Or
welcome to
best,
the
or
family of
actually,
fucked up bloodline.
or actually, here's the best disguise from them. You know I have celerity and potence, right?
Yes.
I could make myself look like a buff bruja.
Oh no. Speaking of making, is your network up and running? Or still silence?
Is it?
It
Miguel?
has slowly been returning. More like the usual buzzing that you were accustomed to that vanished. Almost like tinnitus. You occasionally notice that you're hearing it.
I think whoever was having a meltdown has been either put on some sedatives or killed. Either way, it's slowly coming back. Do you think... Do you think it is peak Malkavian thing to silence the cobwebs? For what? 1 week? 2 weeks now?
I guess.
I think Malkav would be proud.
I suppose. Sounds like greatest fucking prank pulled in probably the last decade by Malkavians. Like, I
Best-
can only imagine how it feels to you, like having your one of your senses removed.
More like having noise removed from my head. With my derangement, it made things a bit more bearable. Either way, it's not a great prank, after all. It's not like I convinced half of the clan that they don't have demonstration. but they have dominate, and that the main clan is in Camarilla.
There are things we cannot explain.
As this conversation goes on,
Serena just wait, this was that. Serena just chuckles. Look, pranking, jokestering, jesting, and flat deadpan humor is a trademark.
Yes.
I once heard that Malkov got cursed by Cain not because Diablerized the second generation, but because he called Cain's shit out. And hit all the... And it was the T. Serena chuckles, but it's like sort of like this like very merciless and dull, flat laughter. It's like a joke that used to make her laugh, but it doesn't really. It's like a habit. Like, haha, it's funny.
And as this joke is said, you notice that the Ventru Tower in the distance has now come close enough that even just looking up, you can't even see the top of it anymore.
Where's the library?
You're approaching the address that the library is at. And as you look around, you notice that there's quite a bit of activity in the city, despite it being quite late.
Somewhere around the corner.
Yeah.
And not really like use the main streets. And I'm going to basically scan the area as we're like pulling up to some alley where she's going to leave, like park the car.
Mm-hmm.
Going to first scan everything visually, so alertness, and after that I'll check with supernaturally. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll feel around for.
And I'm
magic
using sight for alertness.
Okay, so perception alertness from Serena.
Yeah, and Auspex also. So
yeah, I'm factoring that in. And Jack, what are you doing?
Doing my fucking fairy shit and scanning surrounding for living magic.
Which does not require a roll. Is that correct? So Serena, you look around, and you don't spot anyone following you or anything. We do spot something interesting. You know the address of the library is basically just around the corner. And parked right next to it is this truck. And you see a number of men exiting the building with large cardboard boxes and loading them onto the truck.
They're coming out from the building where we want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have like in my pocket something like an apple, like like those little trackers that I used before?
You can roll a 1d10 if you get an even number, let's say you do.
Okay. Nope. I then take but I should probably have like a backup like burner phone.
Yeah, that is like pretty standard for
that we have in abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like at least like some like cheap ass Androids? Because a lot of the button phones generally don't work with modern networks.
Sure.
Mm.
We can say it.
Okay. So they're loading the things up in a truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell Jack, wait a second, right? And I'm going to dodge into the alley to go into like fully obfuscate, right? And I'm basically gonna have this phone on silent, the burner phone, right? And just basically, there's apps like with which you can share location with friends.
Yeah.
So basically, she's gonna use the phone
Yeah,
as a
like an
tracker.
online app. I'm basically going to turn on this phone and use like an online anonymous app to basically share my location via a URL.
Okay.
Say like share my ETA.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what I'm trying to do is basically sneak up to the truck, obfuscate it, and either try to put the phone into like basically depending on would I be able to get to the door, like are they coming out with the boxes, going back in to get some more boxes, etc. So if something like that is happening, I would try and get basically the phone into like a box while the truck is open.
I
If
see.
not,
So you're essentially trying
if
to leave to use
yeah,
the phone as like a makeshift tracking device and
yeah, because it's like a burner phone. It has none of my information, and it's an online app where like details is shared with like via link, which
Mhm.
again can be like another burner phone, which Jack probably also has on him, can be used for that, so that our current phones don't get
Okay.
compromised.
In that case, make a perception occult roll. I'll allow you to plant the tracker regardless. So basically, as
Okay.
you're
Does discerning
sneaking,
apply?
yes, as you're
Uh,
sneaking through the area,
mhm.
you essentially follow one of the people who are loading the boxes onto the truck. The guy puts the box in, and as he's starting to turn around, you simply gently place the phone into the truck and slide it under one of the cardboard boxes. Um, as you turn around and you see another man exiting the building with another large cardboard box. They are wearing they're wearing a cap, sort of a loading uniform, like
Yeah.
a full body uniform, and because of this, their face isn't really visible. But you get to like have a good look at them, and as you do, you notice they're gaunt as fuck.
I'm gonna like make my way a bit away from the truck because although I'm currently unnoticeable, I'm
Mm-hmm.
still too close just in case. And gonna like go around and like do an aura perception of them.
Mm-hmm. I'll actually have to check something for this. One sec. Uh, one moment.
One, two, three, four. Four successes.
Mm-hmm. And this for aura perception.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So as you look to this man, what are you trying to find specifically about him?
Well, I'm basically looking at his aura, and I know how humans look.
Mm-hmm.
I know how how vampires look, how ghouls look. I've even seen changelings,
Mm-hmm.
and even met a mage, and Iris. Anytime she has an opportunity to look at a new creature with aura perception, to be able later to tell them apart, she does so. And with 4 successes,
You do not recognize this aura.
what does it look like though?
It's a sort of faded, um, sort of transparent, intermittent-ish aura. Um,
Hmm.
it's hard to spot. It's hard to make out its exact
So
shape.
sort of like vampires, but even more.
Yeah, even less present. It's not like vampires. Vampire auras seem very pale, so the color
Yeah,
is sort of
yeah,
faded. This
yeah,
one
but like,
is like a human aura, but faded and not
yeah,
all there, if that makes sense.
mm, sort of, sort of brings to the mind race for Iris. Um, because they're not quite there. Mm. And who knows what they can do. Um, has she ever heard about race or like ghosts being able to possess humans? I mean, like media obviously speaks of it, but has Anahita or Cecil or
I don't
Rune
think
ever
I
spoken?
don't I don't think you've ever heard about that specifically. However, because of Anahita's discussions regarding necromancy,
Mm-hmm.
you would probably be aware of the fact that ghosts are capable of some very, very unexpected feats.
Yeah,
You've
so
also seen a ghost manifest itself
yeah,
in the real world, like appear out of nowhere and actually like have a physical form,
yeah.
do things, and then vanish. So
Well, because I remember that Jack was able to help Cecil with Titus. Um, I quickly texted him that I placed the tracker, but I asked him without revealing himself to basically check out if he notices anything weird about these guys, because they are not human, not vampire. If anything, maybe somehow connected to ghost race, and that sort of brings Rourke and Kian again back into Centerfold.
I'll
Or the Giovanni.
try to spot anything funky.
so you were already uh, keeping an eye out for any type of magic that might be of non
Of
Cainite
living
origin.
kind. No, ghosts are also doesn't
I know. I'm aware.
check.
Oh, so ghosts don't count.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything dead is of the picture.
Okay. So anything undead. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you try to sense anything specific about them? Just look like normal people to you. Mundane, bored workers just doing a job.
I'll try to gather some intel on closest guy with the help of my little angel.
So you're trying to. Okay, you may roll.
Careful applies.
For this one, it does not. You're asking for assistance from something. So.
Yeah.
Oh. And it's first power,
Motherfucker.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You try to use it on one of the workers then.
Yeah.
Okay. The voice essentially quiets down the world for you and whispers in your ear almost to a deafening tone. And you hear sins from past lives, sins from death. It regrets losing its will. Pathetic creature. It regrets losing independence.
Interesting.
And then the voice fades.
I text to Serena. Probably ghosts. Maybe possession. I don't fucking know.
Well, either it's Giovanni or we know one voodoo doctor in town.
Yeah.
Either way, it's either the Giovanni or those cunts.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Should we have a friendly chat with them?
I mean, they're emptying the library that we want,
Mm-hmm.
but we are in Camarilla territory.
Dominate is not very
Is
visible
there a
anymore.
ghost? Is there a ghost? I mean, I could just demontate them.
Or we can dominate them one by one, but still.
Well, you can attempt. I'll be around you. If it goes wrong, I'll just I'll just use demontation. Are they still loading up the car?
Sorry. Yes, the truck is almost full though. So you don't have very long.
Is there a driver?
There is a driver waiting inside the truck, yes.
I'll go chat with the driver.
While I'm going to very quickly. Well, if the truck is full and that's the place that we're taking, would I be able to sneak a look inside the building, like what's going on there?
You can roll me Dex and Stealth as you sneak inside. In the meantime, Jack, you approach the driver's window, and inside you see a man in the same uniform. There's nothing incredibly off about him. He just seems to be like scrolling on his phone, a bit bored.
Hey man, you have a lighter?
The man doesn't look at you, he just says, "Nope."
What you moving there anyway? I wanted to rent a place nearby.
Just doing a job.
Okay, I'm look into his sins as well.
Okay. You won't need to roll, because I'll just use the previous.
I still
roll.
rolled as a motherfucker.
That's fine, but you had a pretty decent roll before, so I'm just using the excess successes from that. And as the voice begins to take over any sound around you, it whispers to you something that you didn't expect. It says, I What is this? Muddled. No identity. There's nothing there.
I didn't hear the last part.
Yeah, I didn't hear
There's
either.
nothing
There's
there. No identity.
And he doesn't feel magic at all. So, you mind giving me your phone so maybe if I need a moving company, I can call you up, guys?
He just takes his phone and taps the essentially the side of the truck behind him. You look, and there's advertisement on the side of the truck with the company number.
I want to catch his fucking gaze, motherfucker.
Him.
Huh?
Touch him.
Why?
Well, because he'll look at you. He'll be like shocked.
Sure. I'll reach into.
Okay, are you patting
Doesn't
him?
do it.
Or are you like grabbing his uniform? What are you doing?
I'll kind of like shove him. That's fucking rude to talk to potential customers like that.
The man sort of pulls his cap down and turns to you, specifically hiding his eyes from you, and he says, "Look, mate, I'm just doing a job. Why don't you leave us be, okay? We have to get this done before... we got a time limit. Now go away."
By the way, I got 7 successes on my stealth roll.
Yeah, we'll get
Because
to that
I
in a
was-
moment.
Yeah, but I was planning to do a quick in and out because I was meant to be Jack's backup. There's a reason why I was like, dominate might not
Okay,
work,
let's
'cause
let's do this. Let's do your part very quickly, and then we'll return to this. So Serena, you
what
sneak.
Serena wants to see.
You sneak
is like-
inside,
Mm-hmm.
right? You basically follow one of the workers, and as he opens the door and walks inside, you sort of link into the room.
I mean, I'd even just like look in and go back out, like just like a quick look.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well,
basically,
make me a perception and investigation roll. Actually wits and investigation, because you're basically trying to catch as much information and make sure you memorize it. If you're just glancing in.
1, 2, 3 successes.
Okay, so you watch the man open the door, walk in, and as the door slowly comes shut, you have a good look inside, as fast as you can. You see empty bookshelves, a bunch of boxes, with workers filling the boxes with books. And the main thing that sort of catches your eye is that the carpet on the floor has been ripped away, and there is a bunch of purple lines on the floor that all have been scratched to shit. Essentially, there used to be some patterns and purple lines on the floor, and most of the lines have been scrubbed out.
Okay, that's enough for me because since we came for the library, I
We
wanted
have the
to
library
see.
in the car.
Yeah, we have the library in the car, so I basically slink back, just as quickly, with my superior stealth and dexterity skills. Make it just like way back up. Wait till like somebody else goes back, like whoever's loading up, so that they're all gone, and probably like see that Jack is there trying to talk to the guy. And I just pop up, and I'm going to use dementation on the guy.
Well, first let's finish what Jack's interaction was, because this
Yep.
part is a bit important. So the guy,
Jack is about. Yeah.
to basically recap what was happening, the guy specifically adjusts his hat to cover his eyes, and turns to Jack and tells him, "Look, we're just doing a job. We're in a bit of a hurry. Just mind your business, okay?"
Do I see this? The last.
You
bit?
see him talk to Jack, and Jack looking a bit frustrated, but that's about it.
Okay, well, since Jack has went to the guy when I went in, right? I would have assumed that he would have tried to basically use dominate on the guy for a while.
Yeah.
So either it's not working, or the guy knows what could happen. Either way, I just approach the basically as soon as the other loaders go in, I just close the doors, walk very briskly to Jack, and as I'm pulling open the door to the driver's seat, I basically say, "You really should run the fuck away from here before I rip you a new asshole." And I mean it. He will have a new asshole in his fucking forehead. Yeah, so my roll actually was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes. That's for Voice of Madness.
Okay. You speak these words, and the guy's head sort of twitches to the side. And he says, "It's one of you." He adjusts his cap again, and then lifts his head and makes eye contact with both of you. And his eyes are pitch black.
That's fine.
It's
I just
basically...
pulled him out. Look, remember I was also opening the door at the same time?
Yeah?
And
Well, let me
I
finish
wasn't...
first. Let me finish. So he looks up. His eyes are pitch black. But it's not like you're looking at pitch black eyeballs. It's like his eye sockets are filled with abyss. That's basically what it looks like. It's not it's not like Jack's eyes when he uses the night vision, and it's not like any necromancy you've seen. It's basically like he's a skin suit filled with abyss in it. That's what it looks like.
That's all right. But I am quicker, and I am faster, and I am stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already, as I was using dementation, I was already opening the car.
She was already getting in the car.
Yeah, so basically what I do, I just pretty much just fucking pull him out of the seat and swing him out. And hopefully Jack is getting the message and getting into the other passenger seat, because as soon as he swung out, I'm taking the car seat because the back doors are closed and we're driving off.
Okay, let me just check something. How many dots and
Do I
aspects do
roll-
you have?
4.
4 or 5? 4. Okay. Yep. So as you lift your hand to grab him, you get this sort of intuition, almost this instinct to pull your hand away. But you can choose to continue forward.
No, is it intuition or instinct?
It's basically, you recognize the feeling because you've had multiple of these premonitions before. It's clearly the sixth sense of Auspex warning you against something, though you don't know what it is. You can choose to continue. It's just a premonition that you get.
Switch my weapon.
Hmm?
I take the gun.
Okay.
He might be wearing a skin suit, but the skin suit still needs to be alive.
Okay. You aim the gun at him, and he says,
Celerity.
Yeah.
He says nothing.
Oh, so you want to immediately just shoot?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We're
Roll.
not wasting time. We're in Camarilla territory.
Okay.
Dex for
Roll.
firearms. Do I still use sniping if we're like close
No, you
range?
don't. Sniping doesn't count for this. No.
But precise does.
Not really. You're doing like a, quick shot at point blank. It's not like you're specifically aiming for his eye socket or anything.
No, I am aiming specifically at his head.
Yeah, but you're so
ain't gonna
fucking
be-
close. It's almost like doing this with your gun. It's like
1, 2,
How is that
3,
precise?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 successes.
You can roll for damage. Oh wait,
Uh.
guns have fixed damage, so yeah, just roll whatever the damage of the gun is.
Oh, so let me see.
Extra successes still apply for the damage, aren't they?
So
Yes.
wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 over 6 damage. That's 14 damage, and yeah, 14 damage.
You pull the trigger, and as you do, essentially most of his head sort of blows off, but it looks like smoke drifting off
fine.
from his head.
I'm like,
The
Jack
bullet.
grabs him out.
Hold on, let me finish. The
Okay.
bullet goes through the roof of the truck, and the shot rings out through the street. And the guy looks to you and says, "You could have just asked." And he begins to fade away.
Well,
Yeah.
get in the car. Let's drive.
Yep, let's fucking bin it.
So you get in the truck in the driver's seat. And as you do, you look for the keys and notice that where the guy was sitting, the keys to the truck basically have fallen right where he was holding them. You pick the keys, turn on the truck. Jack, where are you getting in?
Passengers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
you're not going in the
dash
back
around
with
to the
the
passenger.
with the books. You're going in
Or
the
maybe
passenger
go.
seat.
If the back door is closed,
No, it's still open.
oh, then I'll dash and
In fact,
Sit-
it
sit
was
in the
still
back.
being loaded. It's just, you guys interrupted it.
yeah.
So where are you going?
I'll go to the back and fucking
Mm-hmm.
close the door on as we drive off.
So you
When I-
sprint to the back, you hop into the truck, and you begin pulling the ramp in. And as the ramp begins to go up, one of the workers that's coming out with one of the boxes sees you and stops, simply staring at you. And he holds the box looking sort of confused at you. But that's about it. He doesn't really fight back. You take the box?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just take the box. It doesn't seem to let go at first, but as soon as it gets like out of reach, it's like he doesn't really have the strength or the will to pull back. His arms just hang there as if he wants the box back, but doesn't really do anything else.
Don't want to find his own fucking books.
If I see that there's one of those guys back there, I'm gonna start driving off and hope that Jack's gonna finish closing that damn door.
Yeah, so you begin driving. It's a large truck, so it takes a while to build up speed. And as you drive off, Serena, I need you to just really quickly roll me wits and alertness.
Mm-hmm. One, two successes.
So you begin driving, and as the truck turns the corner, drives down the street, and you see a couple of police cars driving past you towards the location where the gunshot happened. You sort of sigh with relief. Driving, as normal. And then as you
Downtown, onto a highway.
yeah. You're basically taking all the precautions. I'm keeping that in mind. And as you turn your head to the road, you notice something out the corner of your eye. You look to the passenger seat next to you, and you see Cecil sitting there. And he simply sits there, looking at the road, and saying, "Why are you here?"
How are you here? You died.
I did. But, well, I thought I did a better job at educating you. Taking senseless risks. Exposing yourself to danger. This is reckless.
Like, Serena, like, while still keeping, like, her eyes on the road, just, like, slams her hands on the wheel, then whispers, "Oh, that's a new fucking derangement I got."
You failed to save me, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is that you had a choice. You could keep yourself safe, make my sacrifice at least slightly worth it, or you could just give in. And you're barely holding yourself together without a fix.
Look to the, like, up and like, "You're not Cecil, are you? You're one of those cunts who probably listened in.
Of course I'm not
So
Cecil.
how about
But
because
you miss him too much for your mind to let you be alone.
Don't worry. Before I give in, I'll make sure that your entire empire gets crumbled to shit."
Cecil's head turns to you, and as he makes eye contact with you, you see same.
I can't make eye contact with him. I'm keeping my eyes on the road.
Oh, so you don't
Especially
look
now
at him at all?
Only out of the corner of my eye.
Okay, well, you can still make out that, like, his eyes are the same pitch black you saw before. And you hear this chuckle turning into a maniacal giggle as it echoes, and before you realize it, the figure's gone.
I'll try to move
Size.
to the front of the
Yeah,
truck
you
bed.
basically go through the small corridor in between the stacks of boxes. Go up to the window that leads to the front of the truck, and pulling it to the side, you see Serena looking a bit agitated.
You all right?
The cunt decided to show up in the driver's seat looking like Cecil.
Ooh, that's
Pretending to
cardinal
be
fucking
his,
sin.
pretending to be his fucking spirit. Too bad the idiot doesn't understand a single thing about us.
Do you think it was?
It was the
Brewer?
same thing that was sitting in the driver's seat. The same black eyes.
Can I understand what it was? Was my knowledge?
into cult, book
Mhm.
knowledge and
By the way-
necromancy can apply.
By
I
the
don't
way,
have them. I have
can I
bloodlines and rituals.
can I also roll it because I remember seeing Wraith manifest, you know?
Mm.
So and I know that
Abyss.
Jack somehow communicated through Abyss with the Shadowlands, with Titus there. So it must be somehow, like connected in Iris's understanding. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be possible for Jack to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes and all 10s.
If I go by 6, I have 3.
And you're trying to understand what it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So clearly it was a wraith of some kind. Hard to tell what specific type of wraith, since you're not knowledgeable in necromancy.
Yeah.
However, for Jack, since the difficulty for you is a bit lower, you'd know that, shadows, the abyss, and, whatever's connected to death and wraiths, all of it is sort of like woven together. And you'd wager if his eyes look that black, he can't be like just a regular ghost. Serena, since you're very well read.
Disconnected. She
Oh.
disconnected.
Okay.
Probably
That's fine.
computer died.
We'll hold for a moment.
Yeah.
Apologies
Can you
for
turn my
the
camera off
technical-
for a second?
Yeah, one sec. So, we're experiencing a bit of technical difficulty, so we'll be right back. We'll take a very quick break. Apologies, folks. Okay, we're back. Apologies for the technical difficulties. But as I was saying, so Jack, you got that information from your role. Serena, you're well read enough that while you wouldn't know what type of wraith it is, you definitely know it's a specific, particularly dangerous sign when you see wraiths with signs of shadows anywhere on them. Either
I
pitch
think
black
I even
eyes,
remember.
surrounded by smoke, something like that.
Yeah, I think I even remember something like that from the Free Counties.
Yeah. So it's always like a really, really, really bad sign when you see something like that.
That was
More
really dangerous.
specifically, with the amount of successes you got, while you don't remember the knowledge, like verbatim, paraphrasing it in your head, you know that it's something that, without any ability, like without any necromantic ability, it's basically impossible to fight.
It was a really dangerous race that we wouldn't be able to fight without any necromantic ability. I think we need to drop this thing off to Freya.
The whole fucking lot of books.
Well, look, we can't fight it. Our other option is Johnny, but does he know what to do with it?
Probably
He
has
was
zero
just
fucking
learning.
idea.
Well, that's the point. And Vika's they are in Washington, so Freya is our chance. Like, you can probably promise her something from that collection. I'm sure she will won't mind. But we wouldn't be able to keep it if we take it with us.
Sure, let's go there. I'll
All
call
right.
Freya.
How fast are you driving?
Well, it's a truck. So, you know, fast enough to basically get out of downtown area, the Camarilla territory, and then basically just like to go into the location where Jack told me to go.
Okay.
Unless I see like a tail or anything, I'm not going to be,
Yeah. So Jack, as you begin to call Freya, Serena, I need you to make a wits and drive roll, please.
Okay. One, two, three, four, five. 5 successes.
Okay.
It's like the press of Serena is gone. It is now petty revenge Serena.
It's
like-
with that.
No, it's like my first like rolls, like while they were successful, they had a bunch of ones.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got mad, it was just like 10, 10, 10, 10,
Tense.
10.
Okay. So
It's very tense.
Jack, as you begin calling Freya, you feel the rumble of the truck as it accelerates. Serena, while you're keeping the speed, reasonable, at some point you feel the accelerator move below your foot without your agency, and the truck begins accelerating. You still got full control of the wheel, but the accelerator is basically starting to press down without your agency.
I have a tail. I have a prehensile tail. I'm gonna go and grab it back.
Okay. So you try to like finagle your tail under the pedal, and you try to pull. You can make a strength and athletics, let's say.
I'm also adding potence as auto successes.
Okay.
So that's 2 successes on top. I mean, and also 4 successes, so 6.
So you pull as hard as possible, and you just barely manage to stop it. But it remains there.
No. I don't stop it. I just pull it back to normal speed.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to do. But with the prehensile tail being, not the strongest thing you got, and, the pedal being pressed down, you're basically applying as much force to it as it's being applied to it. So it stops at that point. So it's still accelerating a little, but it's not going off the rails yet.
Okay, I'm also just going to basically from the location where Freya is, how far are we off?
It'd be about 15 minutes drive.
Yeah, okay, I can manage it. And while this is happening, I'm quietly, like, because I'm not going to be speaking this out loud to Jack, right? I'm quietly, basically, rehearsing in my head the very quick emergency stop of the car. So, to basically push down the brakes and I don't know, like shift gears and like switch like the gear shift, like push it into like neutral or something. So basically to make the car stop using the engine.
So essentially pressing down the gear shift
Engine braking.
and
Yeah. So basically moving it into
Lower gear.
yeah.
not even low gear, like actually. So basically like planning. Basically just like since I do like to drive fast, right?
Worst case scenario, you just let go of the gas pedal and push the fucking clutch to the metal.
No,
Engine blows, we stop.
No, so basically, given our speed and acceleration, I'm just like planning to drive up to like Freya's location in a way so that I have like basically enough space for me to,
Stop.
yeah, so that the car stops.
Okay. Well, you can. Your wits and drive was good enough that you'll be able to manage the situation. For now, at least. But Jack, as you begin to call Freya, again, you feel the rumble as the truck begins to accelerate, and then every turn that the truck makes, you feel it sort of swerve a little, almost like it's a bit uncontrolled.
And only thing I do say to Jack, make sure to call her quickly and say that we have guests. That we have guests in a car.
While I'll do that, I'll create a fucking tentacle of shadow underneath the gas pedal and just push it back a little more.
Okay. Roll just to create the tentacle. You just need one.
I can auto success on that.
Yeah, cool. So, Serena, you begin to feel the gas pedal ease up.
Yeah.
And when you like glance downwards, you just see like a massive shadows pushing against it.
It's like this one shadow doing heavy lifting.
Yes. It can lift 200 kilos, so you know.
And yeah, so the car sort of the truck, builds down to a reasonable speed. As the phone rings, and eventually you hear a click. Yes.
I'm dropping some hot fucking books for
Again.
you to keep for right now. Books. And we have guests.
Of course you have guests. Okay.
Yeah,
This bitch pushes the fucking gas pedal.
I yell into the phone, smoky, black eyes, as far as I remember, dangerous.
There's a brief moment of silence from the other side of the phone. And then you hear Freya just say, okay, bring it over. I'll need to... And as she is speaking, Jack, you hear the microphone sort of become a bit glitchy, and then it screeches a high-pitched noise at you. And then your phone dies.
Fuck. Phone dead.
Is the gear still doing the thing?
It's being
The pedal.
maintained.
Yeah, okay, well, right now, if it's like at a more comfortable speed, we're basically going to pull up to her place, and since we're now slower, we should be able to push back enough to basically pull up to a stop and for me to basically just like turn off the car.
Yep.
Or at least switch it into neutral.
you begin to park the truck, and as
I
you
don't park. I fucking
fine, you
screech to a
stop
stop.
you screech to a stop, and you pull the handbrake, turn off the engine, and take the keys out. Sort of, you know.
Break him. I break him.
Oh, you break the keys.
I break the keys.
Yep. You basically crush it in your hand until it,
And
doesn't
then I
fucking
break
work.
the. Wait. That's not the end. Because he's a fucking. That type of spirit. And I know the shit they can do. Well, for a suspect. And I know if I break electronics here right now, it's not gonna start. So
Yeah, I'll probably
I'll
just
smash.
move my tentacle to just fucking unplug electronics from the car.
Yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Essentially, Serena, as you crush the keys, you just hear a bunch of rattling from under the wheel, and you see the wheel sort of shift a few times, and then the rattling stops, and under the wheel, basically the plastic piece that keeps the wires away from the driver, it basically pops open, and you see a few wires poking out.
Give him a pat. Give him a pat for
Teamwork?
me.
Teamwork?
Yes. Give him a pat
So-
for me.
You, Serena, you exit the car, and Jack, you move towards the door, like the back of the truck, and you go to open it, and as you turn to, face the door, you see Liliana twirling the locket that you were supposed to keep safe in her hand as she sort of paces in whatever area of the truck is not covered in boxes. And you hear Liliana say, I am really disappointed in you, Jack.
You know you're not gonna be the first one.
You're supposed to be the man I embraced. That
I just ripped the door open. Yes. And you're supposed to be my sire, but you're fucking not. So go on, off you fuck.
I may not be your sire. I'm just her thoughts. What she thinks of you.
Oh really? Oh really?
You're a disappointment.
I know.
And I hope you can live
It's
with
kinda
yourself.
in the bloodline. So fuck off.
And as you say that, Liliana smiles. You jump down, and then as Serena, you go back to check on Jack. Both of you see Wayland, only with these pitch black eyes, approaching the back of the truck and saying, you can't really escape me, and it doesn't matter that you destroyed the vehicle. We'll just bring another one and collect what's ours. You understand that,
What's
right?
yours? What's yours?
See,
That's fucking rich.
that's I live by the what's it? The old adage of you kill another warrior and that's yours. That's our kill, so that's ours. Now fuck off.
The Wraith, let's call it that. The Wraith looks to you with a slightly tilted head and says, "You still think you're actually in control of your lives? You realize that what I'm doing pulls straight from your minds, right?"
Volcadian,
Fuck
so
you,
good
sir.
luck with that, you fucking idiot. Second, I'm having the worst era of my life. I'm really not here for this.
Yeah, you better not look there, buddy.
No. At least I kept you busy long enough. And the shape begins to fade. And it's at this moment that the library doors burst open, and you see Freya exiting, um, you know, in quite a bit of a hurry, holding quite long strips of paper and a lighter. Uh, and she walks towards you and says, "Where is it?
I don't
Just-
know.
And why is the truck on
Ah.
fire?"
What the fuck?
You look to the front of the truck and the engine is smoking.
Yeah, I'm starting
That's
using.
easy.
I'm basically getting all the boxes out.
I'll create the fucking cloud of darkness around the front part of the car.
Mm-hmm.
This shit can kill mortals with.
Oh, oxygen
Yeah.
starving.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, I was actually suspecting that he's gonna pull some shit like that because I remember Anahita saying something about a race setting a flat on fire. So this is Miguel. You didn't let me speak in between.
There.
But Serena would have been like the entire time, like every now and then, basically glancing back towards the car
Mm-hmm. Well,
because I've dealt with these fuckers before. Well, not directly, but I've heard what they could do. So
Yeah.
Well, as
Proud of
you,
now.
Jack, as you begin to, focus on the front of the car, shadows build up around the front of it, and eventually the smoke dies down. And after that, you begin to pull as many boxes out of the truck as possible.
I'm straight up bringing them into Freya's because this shit is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Freya essentially, barges in,
Mm-hmm.
and she wraps the sheets of paper around your wrists and makes
Okay.
sure to,
Okay.
tie them in a way where they're essentially not going to fall off. And she instructs you to keep them there
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise there are very risky things that can happen to you.
Yeah.
And she essentially, right after that, she rushes back inside as fast as possible. And as soon as she's in the library, like past the door frame, she seems to sort of brace herself and take a deep breath and say, "Okay, take your time." And she just
Okay.
makes her way inside the library.
I'm just going to be basically very quickly getting the boxes out of the truck and Jack. I'll
Mhm.
be putting them out. You straight up brings them in the library. Come grab back more so that I wouldn't want to keep them too long in this car.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll.
And we can't really both be bringing in like less something else shows up.
Yeah, I'll bring them just closer to the door.
Yeah.
Bring them inside.
Well,
Okay.
Like
as
past
you
the threshold. Past the threshold.
well, as you move the boxes inside, it's almost like there's this presence around you. But eventually, you do move all the boxes into the library itself. And as you take a deep breath, we're going to take a short break before we
Hey,
enter
but
the.
I want to look into the boxes.
We can do that after the break
Yeah.
because we have to
No,
take
I'm gonna.
a small break before the.
Yeah, but I'm going to end the call. I'm not going to be here.
I see. Okay, fine. We'll. Is it okay if we handle that after the episode?
No, I'm not going back on call.
Okay, fine. We can do that very quickly. So yeah, you eventually get all the boxes inside. You open a few of them to see the contents, and a few of them are filled with books you've already read. It's nothing new, nothing special. But once in a while, you open one of the boxes to find that instead of having books with like a title on the front, it has these essentially these really, really old, dusty tomes that are wrapped in leather and kept essentially in a protective cover to preserve them from aging. And as you skim through them, while you can't really tell what they are, what the contents are, a few of them have these markings on the cover. And one of the markings is an ankh.
A what?
An ankh.
Hmm?
Okay.
That's quite a fucking
Egyptian.
collection.
That's Egyptian. Yeah, I mean, you had a look at all the contents? Man with a perfect memory.
You have yet to open all the boxes, but
Yeah.
Well, basically, since we'd have to eventually, leave, I just, basically make sure to go with Jack through all the boxes, right?
I'll remember the index and then I can talk with my cousin regarding the donation to the library.
No, it's also not because of that. It's because Freya has a library. She's a
Mhm.
lover of occult. And so am I.
Shoot.
And
Fuck off, you bitches, my books.
yes, but, if you don't know what's in the boxes, how can you tell if something's missing?
That's why I'm gonna make the index in my head.
Good. Either way, still, Freya helped out, so,
Yes, that's why I'm gonna make the index and then discuss the potential donation to the library with my cousin, Freya.
Yes.
Freya
Either way.
eventually returns, carrying essentially a key, a ring of keys, that look quite old. And as she carries this key ring, I should mention she's wearing essentially home pajamas, like old-fashioned
Understandable.
home pajamas. Like she just
Understandable.
got out of bed to take care of this shit in a hurry. She basically walks towards the front door and closes it, and then looks to you, Jack, and says, "Right. So you brought me books
To keep for a bit.
for a bit. How long is a bit?"
A bit is definable variable of time, not
Well,
defined by laws of physics.
Probably you didn't bring anything I didn't already have. And her eyes turn to the open box with all the old volumes in it.
I'm sure there's something interesting for you to read.
Read, you can all the books, but only after I make them.
Well,
Mental index of them.
here's the proposition. I'll allow you to keep them safe here.
And
However, they become my property. You can come and read them whenever you want, but they become my property. In return, whatever I find in these books, well, that knowledge is also yours.
I looked
Of
to
course,
her.
alternatively, I could just allow you to leave with your books.
Or alternatively, we could also burn them, since we don't want to falling them into those hands.
Well, that is an option.
That is indeed.
You sure I can keep them from pesky ghosts?
She gives you a really look.
I'm getting really for a person who snuck into a private meeting with the Priscus. Was part of the Sabbat. Who, considering the topics we were discussing, should have been killed on the spot, given the sensitive nature. And given the fact that I'm still in active mourning, you're really pressing my buttons right now. I was planning to offer you to keep as payment. I was telling Jack that obviously some of the books, you should be able to pick some of the books, especially since he's basically computer guy and keeps everything to his mind.
Well, let me put it this way. You brought a hostile specter right into my doorstep. You took what seemed like extremely valuable books into my library instead of taking them to your haven. Now, I can allow you to take these books away, or burn them, or take them to your haven. But if you're using my library and my protections, then I expect you to pay my hospitality. Repay my hospitality somehow.
I'm going to quickly sort of say like, I'm basically going to sort of say like, ask in my head, I really don't want these books, which could be aiding us in a war, ending up in the hands of somebody who has yet to prove their loyalty. So, if Priscus Vicus, you are able to arrange something, I would be very grateful.
Let me then put it.
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying
you're saying
to
this
her.
in your head.
I'm saying in my head.
Okay.
Like, why would I be speaking about
Okay.
Priscus Vicus to her?
Okay.
Listen to me,
Okay,
please.
fair. Go on.
Basically, she can continue speaking. All of like while she was giving me that rant, that's when I was addressing Vicus. And basically, like in a very quiet and like aggravated tone, because I understand that given the race, this book probably has potentially a bunch of stuff on Shadowlands and other things we would be really needing. And given that Freya is currently really underestimating just how much leniency I gave her when a non-Sabbat member ended up on a private meeting with Priscus about this group who's infiltrating the Sabbat and God knows what else. And given that so far most of the necromancers seem to be quite against us, and she still wants Delmon's head, so I really don't want to burn the books, but that's why basically I'm just like reaching out to Vicus to see if, like, basically
Seek
like,
advice.
yeah, basically it's either just like either a ring or like just like a note about it, but I think this is something that basically would be more useful for our cause, and her loyalty is not proven.
Well, given that this system of communication you have with Vicus is very one way. You have the thoughts in your head, so Vicus should have access to them.
Yeah,
but that's about it. In the meantime, Freya finishes her statement and just awaits for your response.
I pick up my phone call on my phone. And actually, I look to Jack, since he's studying under Vicus, right? And I'm like, give your mentor a call.
Sure thing.
Before you do, I should make you aware. Not only am I not a member of the Sabbat, you are currently standing in my domain.
And you were infiltrating secret meetings of Sabbat, so I'll call it even.
I believe I was invited as payment for my services. Of course, if Jack would like to retract that statement and accuse me of infiltration, that is perfectly fine.
Well, here's the thing. Jack is not a pack priest, not a doctus, Neither is he the Archbishop. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, you are potentially a security threat. But also, actually, here's the thing. Actually, I just look at her and I'm like, because Freya was drinking Voldering with us.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Mm-hmm. I am fully aware. Out of character.
In fact, in the eyes of Sabbat, from the moment you partook in the Voldering, you are false Sabbat. Part of my pack.
Well, I'm sure you can brand me so. It is a shame that the Voldry had no effect, however. So,
Whether if it had effect or not. I hope Jack is doing what I asked him to do.
I'm messaging Vicus.
okay. You can
Calling
send the
him.
message. Okay.
Major offense.
It was out of character, so I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show Amalia's jaw snaps.
So. Yeah, Jack makes a call, but until then, you're still talking. Yeah. Freya simply says, "Well, of course you could threaten me. You could try to impose your rules on me.
No,
I
I'm not
would
going to threaten.
just remind you very quickly that currently, not only am I assisting you with Delmont, I'm assisting you with these books and with your own safety. I'm currently being very hospitable and allowing you to stay in my domain, which, by the by, has been gracefully devoid of our kind for the better part of a century because I ensured it. So, if you'd like me to stop helping you with Delmont and to not be welcome in my domain anymore, you are free to do so. I would not advise it. Vicus or no Vicus. Do as you will.
I'm not making threats. As if I can say finally reaches
Yep.
Vicus.
My sect's war and all that stands before the Gehenna and what's coming is far more important than your petty desire to keep books, even though if we followed every single Sabbat rule, you would be ash on that plane.
No,
But you're
how
not,
about we
because
seek advice from Vicus instead of making threats?
these
So-
books need to remain specifically Sabbat property. If she is not true Sabbat, they cannot remain with her.
Okay, so
That is simple.
Jack, your call eventually goes through. You hear a click, and you hear Vicus's voice on the other end. Yes. Hello. Yes, I've gotten the message.
Do you have an advice for me regarding this?
If
fucked up
Freya
conundrum.
doesn't want to be true
Well,
Sabbat,
Serena.
and we proved
Jack's on the phone. Let him talk first.
basically,
I
I
agree.
asked. My idea was that, like, because when I sent a message to Vicus, like, it was like, if she's being difficult because the books are clearly important and connected to the Shadowlands, I'd rather have them in Vicus' care. She's not true Sabbat. So it's not about Sabbat.
I know.
And she's not.
I understand. Vicus isn't just privy to the message you sent. Vicus is privy to your
To the
memories.
conversation.
So she basically knows everything you know. She knows everything I know regarding your character. So
They.
they, he, they. Yeah, you get what I mean. The memories are shared. There is very little that Vicus doesn't know
Yeah.
regarding your situation. So rest assured, I'm fully aware.
Okay.
Cool. So, Jack, continue.
Yeah, maybe you have an advice how to solve this situation.
Well,
Serena just mutters under her breath, applying for these books to Washington.
well, do you have a way to ship the books out of there safely?
Hardly.
Do you have a way to dispose of Freya?
Good old, but we still need a help with some stuff.
Well, I can't provide the help from where I am regarding Delmont, so if you feel you can handle the situation by yourselves, of course, if you feel you need Freya's help, then at least allow that help to take its course. You can always take the books back later.
Sounds true enough.
Also, tell my great grandchild to pace herself. I understand
They
and I
all-
agree,
Yes.
but obvious intentions are the death knell of our kind.
Mm-hmm.
Dishonesty is an art and all that. Anyway, I believe you get the message. Anything else?
I'll probably send Johnny over. I have
He
a bit
has
of time this week.
instructions regarding your training.
Very well.
Toodles.
See you when I see you.
And there's a click.
So, the way I see it, what we do is I pull money, I build another wing in the library just for my books. 2 keys, one for me, one for you. Read them all, doesn't matter. And I will know if you took any of them. And after Delmont, we'll find a solution for that. You keep them safe. We don't bother you about that. How's that for a deal?
Freya, tapping her foot on the ground, her arms crossed, leaning her weight
And
on her hip.
as I said,
She-
donation to
she-
the library is not of the books, but not all of the books.
So Freya looks very frustrated with the situation. And after listening to you, she seems to ponder for a moment, then looks to Serena, then back at you, and says, well, at least the monetary donation is in good faith. Fine. I'll allow it for now. But, and she says this directing her attention at Serena, mind your manners in my domain. I was a guest at your meeting, and I behaved according to your traditions. So kindly, in my domain, you respect my authority as well. Right. I look forward to helping you. You may spend the night here if you, or the day here if you wish. By nightfall, you can return to your haven if you wish, or you can depart now. Well, so long as those don't come out of your wrists, you should be fine. I
Wear
will.
them? How long do you wear them?
Well, until you get to the Haven. If you
Um,
were
would
followed,
they be able,
wear them during the day as well.
would they not be able to track down our haven?
Well, while you have those on, whatever it tries to do to you will fail. It can still physically track you down, but without a car, it's
Right.
rather hard.
Well, I've wrote some I to stay away from the haven. I suppose it would be best to accept your hospitality offer.
Of course, I have a spare room you can spend the day at. Just remember not to leave anything outside. Mortals frequent the place during the day. Otherwise,
Do any of those books have anything related to the Green Path?
no,
by
feel
Erise?
free to peruse. I'll make a list and provide you enough reading material while you're present in my domain. And that
I'm
will be
more
that.
interested on that one. If you don't, that's all right.
Yeah, of course, I do have some books, a bit of religious tones, but some books regarding Nordic culture and
That
the
would be
Teliavs of the East. You should
I think
probably
that's the
get
right
some
one.
nice information from those.
And Serena sighs and like she's now like just like exhausted. Um because ironically, unlike Cecil who's like nature, she knows. She prefers to have, like she doesn't really like, like the princely, like is it all that thing again? She prefers the Sabbat like, like
Blunt honesty.
openness. Yes, yes. That you should have perished. And I could probably kill you where you stand without breaking a sweat.
Can I basically see the thought train brewing?
No, that
Well,
was already like you could have seen that
all
already when
you
like
what you can do, Jack, if you want, is roll perception empathy to see if you can
although that was
gauge this from Serena.
no, that whole thought process was basically when me and Freya were having the argument.
Yeah. What I mean is, like, he can roll that to see if he caught that information during the argument.
Probably because it's the Serena's like look like before like a fight, just like like quick assessment and
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you definitely picked up on the frustration that she feels.
and
No,
he probably also caught up on the calculating gaze, which is usually comes before like
Counting all
Serena
the
does
ways in
something.
which this bitch can die.
Yeah, like appear behind her and pull out her spine.
yeah. Now, if you excuse us, well, do I have an index to make? Do you have room to put all the boxes in?
I'll arrange for the boxes to be stored.
Very well.
You
I
can
take
simply go to your
Serena-
room if you'd like, or peruse the
I would
volumes.
like to know what I have in these books.
Of course.
I
Once you're
take Serena by the
done,
elbow.
clap your hands twice. The box will be moved before sunrise.
Good. I take Serena by the elbow. I think, Reverend, we have an index to make.
Yes, we do.
I
We should make
will.
that.
I will see you after sundown. And she
Sure.
turns and begins walking down the corridor, shaking her head and cursing the inconvenience of having visitors when she didn't plan to have them.
In German, nonetheless.
Yes, in German. One thing you noticed about her outfit, despite having this whole
Headpieces
pajama
on.
thing, she still has the very ornate headpiece
Yeah.
on.
Now, your grand grandsire told me to tell you to keep a bit cooler.
Stop. I just like put my hand up, and Jack should feel the familiar pressure of Serena basically initiating telepathy.
They told me to tell you to keep cool. Happy now?
Mhm. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not the only thing they said.
Pretty
Uh,
much. Pretty much. Just try to keep the art of deception alive.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's the familiar
Look, you're older than I
bloodline.
am. You were a prince. You know how to play the fucking politics.
And they fucking hate it.
Hate it or love it, we still have politics to play, and you know, either fun time or long time. Pick your poison.
I don't care. Either way, we need to make a
Yes.
index because some of these books might be useful in the battle,
Yes.
whether we're here tomorrow or not.
Now, let's proceed. Because
Yeah.
I'm fucking hungry to top it off.
So you turn to begin making the index, and as you go through boxes,
If you're hungry, I can give you some blood.
In a bit.
so as you open boxes and go through the books, listing down what you have in your hands, we will take a short break, and we'll be back with the second part of the episode. We'll take about 15 minutes, and we'll see you soon.
See you around.
Welcome back. We join Jack as he makes his way through East LA. A few nights have passed since your first arrival to Freya's domain, and you now venture towards the south of East LA, where you're supposed to meet Johnny, and be given your next task in your training towards the path. As you proceed through the streets, driving past the street lights, you sort of reflect on recent events and how they have been affecting you. What goes through your mind?
A creep of a doubt that maybe that Raz was right. Maybe Jack is a disappointment. But knowing how the bloodline goes, I say Jack was destined to do that.
And as these thoughts sort of plague your mind, the car eventually turns into a street that leads to the address you were given. You're in sort of a suburban area. There are several houses all in a line. Most of them look about the same, with a small garden in front of them. Most of them fenced in. And eventually, you approach the address where you see Johnny finishing a cigarette, dumping it on the ground, and as he sees you, he takes the pack of cigarettes from his hand, sort of taps it twice, takes a cigarette, and begins lighting it.
You know this shit kills, right?
So I've been told. Want one?
Sure.
He hands you a cigarette and a lighter, and then says, "Today we're apparently supposed to go to a specific spot. Um, according to the boss, it'll be obvious what we have to do once we're there."
Okay.
So yeah, it's this way. And he begins walking down the street. As you leave your car parked in one of the spots there. As he walks, he takes a couple of drags of the cigarette and says, "So, how you been holding up?"
Depends on your definition of holding up.
I mean, you're still
General?
walking.
As are you. But
Barely.
tell me.
Look, situations can get a bit difficult, but whatever's going on in your life, you just gotta push through it, you know? Eventually you get what you want. You know, Master Vikas always told me that I'd eventually be turned into one of you lot. But since I've been learning all of this magical shit, apparently that's a bit far off.
You mean the embrace?
Yeah. Turns out I'm not gonna live forever anymore.
Well, you either live long enough to see yourself as a monster, or
And is it
But hey-
that bad, really?
it's kind of daunting. But hey, you do cool magic stuff. I don't.
Says the guy who can summon tentacles out of the shadows.
Nah, that's not so fucking hard.
I can't do it.
I can't make hands disappear on a gargoyle.
No, I didn't make the hands disappear. You just had, to put it in simpler terms, you had a tick attached to your arm. And I didn't know how to remove the tick, so I just removed the arm.
Yeah. Normally it's way more painful.
Yeah, well,
And if I cut off my arm, the tick probably wouldn't give a fuck.
yeah. Again, when I say I took off the arm instead of the tick, I don't mean your physical arm.
Yes.
You might find it a bit difficult at times if someone tries to look at your.
Or
Yeah.
Look,
It's gonna
Eternal
look
Life
weird. That's the point.
has it pros, has it cons. Finite life has its pros and cons.
Yeah, I suppose.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, there is a complete clan of us that were mages once. Went batshit insane.
Suppose that's the reason why I can't have that happen to me, I suppose.
Look, I'm sure Lycos will, let's say, give you proper closure on your terms.
Yeah. I guess. On the positive side, I've been learning a few things that are quite interesting. I can, for example, I've learned how to create a mist that stops things from happening. It takes a while to prepare, but yeah.
Best I can do is bunch of fucking tentacles out of shadows. You see?
Yeah, for example,
You win some, you lose some.
I could probably stop. For example, if someone tried to destroy those tentacles, right? You could probably stop them from even trying.
You can probably stop me from making them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I still have to work out the ins and outs of it. I don't fully understand what it is, but I don't know. The world is a bit different the more I look into it. For example, this street, right? You see a bunch of houses. They'll pretty much all look the same. Have different people on them. In truth, none of this shit is what it is, right? This is not a bunch of houses. This is a bunch of wood, steel, and concrete that we decided to shape like a house and say it's someone's property, whatever the fuck that means. Well, the world is way more abstract than that, like even more so.
If you put it that way, that makes fuck ton of sense.
Yeah. And the more I look into this shit, the more I'm able to do. But kind of makes it all feel a bit pointless sometimes. Well, we trudge on, right? Make our own purpose, all that.
Oh yeah. So why do you think I'm studying under Vicus?
I don't know, you're suicidal?
Grandsire. A bit. My grandsire offered me to study another path, which, if you boil it down to basics, is do evil.
Waylon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a cunt.
You don't say.
Last time I had to deal with him, it was to deliver a message to put him in his place. He tried to tell Master Vicus what to do, and that usually doesn't go well.
Yeah.
His child is cool though.
Yeah. She's cool.
Right.
Protective as a mother of 7 nonetheless.
Yeah, I suppose so. Right, that's the address. And he essentially aims at one of these houses, whose garden seems a bit unkept, and kept enough that someone definitely lives there.
Just like, doesn't bother.
Okay, well, I can probably open the gate for us. Just, act natural, I guess.
Just a second. I'm gonna try to feel if there's something magical about the house.
You attempt to sense. By the way, just check. At this point, have you had Serena change your face back?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. As you attempt to sense any magic, and you sense a few energies, like, emanating from Johnny, but the house is completely devoid of them.
Doesn't mean it's not undead magic.
Johnny approaches the gate, which has a padlock on it. And he reaches into his pocket and takes out what looks like a toothpick. And he takes the toothpick and seems to rotate it, examining it a little. And then after he notices something, he grabs the toothpick at a specific angle and then turns to you and says, "Can you turn around for a second?"
Sure.
Cool. You turn around, and immediately as you turn around, you hear this, and you then turn back and see the padlock on the floor.
See, I couldn't do that.
Sure, but you could break open the gate.
Act natural, you said.
Johnny pushes the gate open and begins to walk towards the front door of the house.
I follow him.
After that, he tries the handle. Well, I should have expected it to be locked. You're pretty strong, right? Would you mind?
Yeah. I'll just kick the fucking door in.
You take a step back, and with a fairly sturdy kick, the door busts open. And you push it open, make your way inside, and the building seems to be a bit neglected, but not overtly so. You enter this first room, which is sort of a living room with a kitchen at the end of it, sort of like this, half kitchen, half living room type of deal, and a corridor that leads to a couple of other rooms. No one you can see yet, though you do hear a few noises from the corridor.
I questionably nod to the corridor.
Johnny reaches into his belt and takes out the Desert Eagle that you saw him use last time. He checks if it's loaded and then begins making his way down the corridor. He looks in and then places his cigarette in his mouth and begins making his way into the corridor. You hear the doors opening one by one, and eventually one of the doors opens, and you just hear Johnny say, "What the fuck?"
No other. I follow him.
You follow him, and you enter the room he's in, and you see Johnny staring at a bed, like a bed for couples, right? King size. And in front of the bed, there's like this, not sofa, but like a sort of couch chair. I forgot what those are called. Sort of like a lazy boy. And on this chair is a man tied up, and he looks terrified at both of you. And looking at, his state, he seems to have been locked into here for at least a day.
That's mysterious.
Johnny moves forward and essentially pulls the cloth out of his mouth. He essentially has a cloth covering his mouth. And removes basically a sock that's stuffed in there afterwards. And says, "Alright, what the fuck happened here?" The man, very panicked and breathing heavily, says, "Who the fuck are you?"
We are doing business, so I heard.
Look, I don't know anything. Genuinely, I've already told your friend. Uh, Can you just set me free, please?
Does he look like he lies?
Hmm?
Does he look like he lies?
You see no indication of lies.
I'm looking generally. To what friend? Do you mean this guy?
No.
Then
So you're
care
not
to
with him?
elaborate. Care to elaborate?
Well, look, some guys broke into my house, and they asked me a few questions about some gang deal. Look, I don't know anything, okay? I don't know about this gang they mentioned. I don't know about anything. Okay? Please just let me go.
Did one of them look like I described one of the guys from Bikers Club?
No, it wasn't one of the bikers, okay? It's like I just I don't know. I was asked a bunch of questions and then
Which questions?
if I knew who members of this gang, if I knew what was going on. I don't. I'm a fucking lawyer. Yeah, I deal with criminals once in a while, but not like that.
Is he talking about Victoria's gang?
Hard to tell.
Were they talking about Latin American gang? White, black, Asian? Try
I
to
don't know.
remember as good as possible. I'll try to use on him the mesmerize.
Mm-hmm. You may roll, and you look into his eyes, and you speak these words. You know, imposing your will upon him.
Yeah.
And looking terrified, the guy just says, I look, they asked about um uh I remember a name. They asked about a guy called Arturo.
That's a guy that told Larry to fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Out of character.
Yeah, you got it. You got the memory, so yes.
And you don't know Arturo.
No, I mean, not really.
Not really.
No, I don't know him.
I like lean closer to Johnny. He's talking about one of Victoria's.
Johnny tilts his head back, and after a few moments, he says, maybe let's try to figure out what he knows. He's got to know something."
Okay, what? Any idea why they decided to ask you?
I'm a criminal defense attorney, I guess. I deal with like a lot of cases where gang members are accused of things. Usually they pay me enough to, you know, buy them some time at least. But I don't know, man. I don't know these people.
She lies.
Hmm. You do see, like, tinges of blue on his tongue.
You see, I'm not sure you're being completely honest with me. So why don't you try to minimize the lies? I know you lawyers don't like it, but as a special request.
Look, man, I don't know anything, okay? Arms deals aren't even my thing.
Arms deals.
When you say that,
Elaborate, please.
when you say that, his eyes widen a bit, and he seems to, like, do that, as if you realize he fucked up.
Okay. I'm gonna see what the dark soul of the lawyer keeps in.
Mm-hmm.
That is 6 dice. Should be enough.
Mm-hmm. The voice whispers in your ear and says, between bribes, between lies, manipulation, his greed knows no bounds. He resents his lack of self-control. He's weak.
So, Mr. Lawyer, if you don't want to talk just for free, I may sweeten the pot. Or,
Look, there's
I don't know.
there's nothing you could offer me. Just that I don't know anything at all.
I can offer you your life. You seem like you like to leave.
Okay.
Or you. I don't know. Money you should have enough. Is it wine? Is it expensive alcohol? Is it girls? Is it boys? What's your poison, Mr. Lawyer?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just untie me, please.
And you will tell us everything?
Fine. Just let me go.
You better not go anywhere. I warn you once.
And as you say that, Johnny just taps his Desert Eagle on his leg. You know, very, very in view of the lawyer.
Yeah. I'll rape like the
Mm-hmm. The restraints.
ropes. Yeah.
And after you do, the lawyer sort of moves his wrists and massages them a little. And as he gets up, you hear his joints sort of crack a little, as if he's been sitting for a very long time.
Mhm.
And he sort of grunts, rubbing his joints. Ugh, fuck. Look. Last week, some idiot got himself locked up. I was paid to offer him a lesser sentence, essentially. To bail him from getting charged with a full crime.
That
He,
is your job.
yeah. Look, he gave a few contacts, sold some people out, but he was set free. I don't care if those contacts want me dead or whatnot. I If they had paid me, I would have bailed them out too.
So money is your poison. I see.
Look, you gotta trust me on this, okay? I'm not the guilty party here. I mean, these scumbags, they keep you know, most of their fucking clients hooked on the stuff they sell. And he says this sort of in a hushed voice. It's fucked up. Now, they pay well. That's why I usually turn a blind eye to this. I help them out. But it's not my fault they got enemies, man.
What the fuck are you? Saul Goodman.
No. What are you talking about?
Never mind. So, names, places, faces.
Arturo is one of them, yeah. I billed him a couple of times. But I haven't seen him in almost 3 decades now. Some of his lackeys have gone to prison for this thing or another. I was, at some point I was, defending this. Look, some dude got a speeding ticket while riding a bike. And as part of his, part of the deal I managed to get him was that he would sell out a couple of gangsters, just grunts. How was I supposed to know they worked for Arturo? I wasn't.
Well, what do you say, Johnny? He deserves a second chance.
Johnny looks him up and down and says, I'd say he does. He then takes the Desert Eagle by the barrel and hands you the gun. But we were given instructions.
So, seems to me, Mr. Lawyer, you've got a short and a stick. Anything more you want to tell?
The guy just falls to his knees and, grabs at your suit, basically begging for his life.
Go on. If you have anything to tell.
He just keeps
Because
begging.
guns are messy. I'll dig into his neck.
You what?
I'll dig into lawyer's neck. I'm pretty fucking hungry.
Yeah. And you begin drinking. You can fill up to 10. As you
Up to 10 more or up to 10
10 more.
max? Okay.
And as you feed more and more, you feel like the pulse weakening and the flow of blood being less and less, up to the point where you actually have to make an effort to get any blood out. And after a while, his body just goes limp and you just allow him to fall to the ground. Um, Johnny, still holding the gun, looks at your handiwork and says, "Okay, well, we're gonna have to clean this up. They can't find a
Wouldn't
body
you have
with a
to
no.
clean his brains out?
Well, finding a guy who's been shot in the head is one thing. Finding a guy with no blood, that's another.
True enough.
I'll take care of cleaning this up. I'll tell Master Vicus you did everything. Also, apparently I'm supposed to deliver a message after you do this.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to think for a bit and begins to, he closes his eyes and tries to remember the exact words, and then says, "Remember to get what you want, what's useful for you, without obstacles." Whatever that means.
That means that as well.
I guess. You lot are
We are
confusing.
weird.
Well, I'll handle the
But
cleanup,
people are
I guess.
strange if you're a stranger.
I suppose. I'll handle the cleanup. You head out.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, you're supposed to call the boss.
Sure.
Give it like 15 minutes once you get out,
Mhm.
and then make the call.
Do you need a fix?
But no, not really. I mean, I could. Nah, I don't need to.
Go on. Go on. Where was it half as bad?
He takes the cigarette out of his mouth, tosses it on the ground, and crushes it. Takes her wrist and, begins drinking. How much blood are you allowing him to take?
Point or two.
Okay. So you may remove those. And you notice that as soon as he keeps drinking, he sort of goes into this trance. And you actually have to, pry him off of you.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do, the guy just wipes his mouth and says, "Thanks."
You're welcome.
Shit, that always hits the spot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But as boss said, take what you need, regardless of obstacles, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll take care of cleanup. You go outside, make your call. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll wait by the car.
As you go back to the car, you take your phone and you make the call, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The phone rings, and at some point, Vicus picks up. "Is it done?"
Lawyer's dead.
As expected. "Did you learn anything?"
Well, first of all, lawyers are fucking greedy. And to be fair, I reluctantly have to agree with the lesser version of my clan that some blood tastes better.
Very good. Now, what do you think about Johnny? Did he handle
He's
himself well?
Pretty much. He's kind of bummed out about not being embraced, but if he is what I think he is, better not tempt the fate with another common of usurpers.
Exactly. Regardless, he's doing well. I'm glad you two work together well.
hope you don't mind I gave him a bit of blood.
I actually appreciate you doing that.
He's away for a moment. He does a good job, so why not?
Indeed. Just remember, Jack. The first rule of our existence is that whatever you do, whatever you think you were, that version of you died. You are not human anymore. What you are is entirely your choice. You need to learn what it means to be you. I can help you find a way, but ultimately it's up to you.
Well, your way sounds way more appealing than go evil, do evil. And besides, my grandsire is probably not considering me a bloodline anymore.
The dictatorial asshole he serves acts much the same way as he does.
Can't argue with that. But hey, it seems to me that fucking failure is the name of this bloodline. And if you really think about it, the one you don't like.
Very true. But let's not make it a trademark. Yes?
Oh, I intend to fix this.
Good. Now, there will be one last job I will have you perform alongside Johnny. After which, you're free to proceed as you wish. Johnny will remain in LA for the rest of his days, as I will require him to fulfill his purpose there.
How old is he? I'm just curious.
Depends. How old do you think he is?
50, 60, maybe?
Wouldn't surprise me if he was. A bit younger than that, actually. Found him about 30 years ago.
He just kinda looks like a friend I had in a life before.
I'm aware. Did you know that that friend of yours, his wife was quite a beautiful creature? His son was
Barely
quite
even
smart
know
too.
her.
I'm glad you get along with his grandson.
So it seems the tradition of grandfathers and grandchildren is still alive.
Always. Do continue to perform a good work. After your last mission, I think you should have a good idea of how the path will change you. And from there will be no point in returning or attempting to turn back from this choice you've made. So be sure you're willing to go through with it.
102 years was a good life. Should be better.
Good. Ta-ta.
See you around.
And you hear a click. And as the phone turns off, you place it down, check the time, and as you look up, you see Johnny carrying a couple of trash bags and going up to the car. He opens the trunk, puts both the trash bags in, and enters the car. There's the cleanup. Right, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool. You can drop me off at my place, so I'll give you the address.
Sure. Did Vikas told you that you are to stay in LA?
No, am I?
Mm-hmm.
Should. Okay.
For as long as necessary.
All right. Well, boss's orders, I guess. I should probably then get a place of my own. Hey, since you work for Vikas, you mind if, you know, I'm sure you already have some servants of your own, but you mind if I, you know, spend some time at your place? Be one of the...
Right now we are living in a fucking breach and there's a butcher shop.
So that shit won't do. So I'll find a way to get a better haven for you lot. Yeah?
You can work with Miguel on that.
Sure. I'll make sure to get you guys a better place to stay. I do have a couple of stashes I was preparing for Master Vikas. I'm sure you can keep one of them. Just to be sure, you're okay staying in a more high-end area, right?
You've seen the horror house?
Well, I meant more, penthouse type of deal.
Sure. If Vikas doesn't mind us crashing.
Well,
We
I'm
might just say
staying
no.
here. I doubt Vikas will come running, and do have some other places she can stay. They can stay.
Yeah. Hey. If we upgrade to penthouse, it's free upgrade to penthouse.
Yeah. I'll also make sure it's secure my way. That way you shouldn't have any problems with,
Like we had.
well, more than that. I'll
Sure.
I have an idea of how to prevent problems you've had. I just need to get the formula right. But yeah,
If you need any help, if you need any fix, just give me a call.
yeah, I'll make sure to keep you updated. Ah, we should head back.
Yep.
And as you turn the car on and drive off, Johnny lights a cigarette and opens the window to sort of let his arm hang out. And you get this memory flashback during the war, driving one of the vehicles where your friend was right there, basically in the exact same pose, holding the cigarette almost the exact same way, right before you lost him. And as this memory sort of flashes in your head, you focus your gaze forward, and that's where we'll end tonight's session. It was a pleasure to have all of you over. We hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next week.
See you around.
Larry's still here.
Oh yes, he is.
Good night, everybody.
See you.